Hey, hello, everybody. What's good, lovers and friends? So, happy eclipse. I'm inside, of course, like getting prepared because this is about to be a very intense time. So, congratulations, you guys made it. You're on the video, which means that you made it. I mean, kind of halfway through the eclipse. I've had some meetings today. So, without further ado, this eclipse is about eclipsing things out, getting past your emotion to get to what it is that you're being asked to do. So I was in a meditation, and it was focused on the people whose birthday, it's a birthday party for people who were born under this particular season. They're known as Capricorns. And so for this Capricorn birthday party, there was a lot of talk about where we're evolving. So I don't know how you all feel about astrology. A lot of people are like, Miranda K, like, I'm not worried about that. I don't worry about planets. And that's okay. Like, you do you. But to quote my favorite author in The Untethered Soul, Michael A. Singer, he says that we're spinning on a rock floating in the middle of outer space. So God created all of this, and you will be affected by things whether you want to believe that it's just you on the planet or not. Your moods will be affected, your emotions will be affected, how you're moving about things will be affected. So, point blank, period, yo, like, this is how it's got to be. Like, just stay aware. So, I wanted to give you guys 7 tips on preparing for what's about to happen. So yeah, you're going to have to go through a lot of shadow work. What is shadow work? Shadow work is the darker part of you. The part of you that you is seen as like your worst day. Let's just put it that way, very basically. Shadow part is like the part of you that yells at people. So before I continue into what shadow is, we must admit that we are dualistic. So how can we exist in this world where we have positive and negative in one person and still practice unconditional love for yourself and for others, and not abandoning or rejecting yourself? It's a balance. It's very delicate walk and balance in how to do this. It's very intense. So now that you're dealing with the gunk, knowing that you have positive and negative, so the light side of you might be very patient, and you might be very social and happy and giggly, but there's another side of you which completes you as a whole, your yin yang. It's dark, it's moody, it's cranky, it doesn't have much time, it's very impatient, it's kind of lashing out at you. It's like it's doing things that maybe morally, if you were just feeling like being dignified that day, you like would not do. So shadow comes out, and it's okay to love on that. I was reading a book called Feed Your Demons, and I will probably put that in here somewhere. I don't want to make too many promises. I have a lot going on in my life, but I'll get to that soon, promise. But now that you're moving forward towards something new, it's time to focus on what it is that you're wanting. So things are starting to happen from what I've gathered from a lot of clients and even myself, is that there is a shift happening, and you're not really connecting well with your therapist. You feel like you're not where you once were, even though your environment currently doesn't match where you are psychologically or physically, and you're starting to make some cuts. Not of friends or anything like that, but cutting of your own energy. You're creating what we wrote about, what we read about in Start Finishing as boundaries. You're creating positive boundaries to say, okay, like, I'm only going to keep this type of person or these 4 types of people in my corner, and this is how I'm going to grow. So in keeping that boundary, that means that, like, where you're allowing something else to happen, other people that were kind of just sucking up your energy or taking up your time, and you felt like the relationship wasn't really going anywhere, it was time to just kind of like step back and just keep the boundary of what you want to have happen. And it's like a lot of you are moving. I'm seeing a lot of you are like registering for some classes. Things are about to start catapulting. Things are feeling like, if you're connecting to other people, you're kind of like able to pick up on their thoughts and their feelings and their emotions, and you're feeling things way more intensely than usual. Just relax. This is a spiritual season. It means something amazing is about to happen. But prior to this, it's just kind of like triggers, which they're all over the place. It's like first this happens and then that happens, and you thought you were doing good, but then something else happens. It just feels like a lot of curveballs are being thrown at you. That's totally a good sign, because right as good things are about to get really good, sometimes things start getting in the way. So this is what is known as the devil, or any sort of like people call it self-sabotaging behavior. Some people call it like untrustworthy friends. This is a season where you're being asked to keep quiet. So 7 points I've picked up have been, now that if you are finding yourself in this space that, oh my gosh, like, Marinike, I just broke up with someone, or I'm trying to take that space, I'm starting a new school situation, whatever it is that's happening, this is your calling, this is the time. So, here we go. The first one is know where you're going. All the things that you're aiming for, know where it is that you're going. If you know where you're going, it's hard to get lost. And make sure that this is something that is genuinely for you. When we look to God, when we are in fasting and prayer, and whatever fast you're doing, Daniel, dry fast, water only, Jesus fast, I mean, whatever situation you're going through, diets, whatever, it's really important to just know what it is that you're wanting. So as curveballs keep being thrown at you, know, what is it that I want? Is this something that somebody else wants? Because, like, am I just wanting it because it looks cool, or is it like actually for me? When you know what it is, the target is that you hit that bullseye on, and where you're elevating to, there will be no ifs, ands, or buts about whether this was meant for you, because every challenge that you've had up until this point, every single trigger, it was intentional. Everything has been made and planted just for you. So the next thing is, now that you know where you're headed, you have to look at where you are and where you've been. Sometimes it's kind of like putting on makeup for women, or getting all dressed up if you're a man. So just like preparing for things to not let your past affect you. The Bible says wash your face in the Book of Ruth, and then anoint your face. So these things, like, so just not allowing your past to affect you, and then putting on a very new attitude. Yeah, okay, like, you may have stepped out on a very toxic situation. Let's just say you had friends you couldn't trust, and now you're in a new space where you are being called, or you're being called to be in a different direction and attract new people to you, but you're still living like it was old, like somebody's about to hurt you, looking over your shoulder every 5 minutes. If this is something that you have been blessed for, and knowing that, hey, this is where you're going, we're eclipsing some things out, it's important to look forward and just be prepared. Not allow the past to affect you. Don't be looking like you were like hurt all the time. Like, It's time to call things in. And if you need to clear and release anything, we can definitely do that. I definitely recommend getting to a theta healer as soon as possible. That would certainly help you. Next thing is, while you're preparing for something, change your clothes. So while you're like washing it, just clear everything from the past that was no longer, so it can no longer affect you. The third part is to anoint it. So it's like, just have a very shiny, bright face. Put on light makeup. Make yourself look happy. You know, no one wants somebody with an attitude, right? Like, well, I got here because I needed to, and you know what? Just don't. You're so lucky to have me that nobody wants to deal with somebody like that, especially if you're stepping into a new place out of this transition. So, also your clothing, everything about you needs to feel like where you're heading. That mark that you had within you know is about to open up. And then go to the place. Go to where you feel like you were being called. So if you feel like for whatever reason you had to pack everything up, you don't know where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing, just go there and keep quiet. Just wait until it's your turn. So it's almost like an elevator, like you're ascending. Number 5, again, go to the place. Number 6, keep quiet. This is all within the Book of Ruth, by the way, so I just finished a little study on that, and I was seeing how it's melding into the eclipse. Is just like, it's everything, seriously, it's everything. And then don't shine if the light is not on you. If it's not your time, just keep quiet, just the pastors that shared this talked about getting everyone else excited about things that you're about to do. It's important to just keep quiet. Just keep quiet, especially if you've come out of something and this is a transition and you're about to get that incredible overnight, whoa, what? Like, weren't you the person that was? Yeah, I was that person. I was, not I am. Yeah, I was. So this breakthrough, this incredible like miracle, and this is exactly what the planets do. This is why God created all of it. So just know that as we are approaching these situations, as we're approaching God, as we're approaching this uprising, it's about to be incredible. So with that said, maybe it's time to release some of the energies, soul fragments that you may be holding on to. Release some of the energy that you've been holding on to. Like, maybe sometimes you're married to a certain thought or a belief or a person, and just kind of clear any sort of energies that's not facilitating your growth right now, what we would call like wayward spirits. Again, you have 2, light and dark. It's nothing to be afraid of. Just like we're spinning on a rock floating in the middle of outer space, asteroids come, planets come, shooting stars come, comets come. It's nothing super heebie-jeebie. It's just energy. Gnats, like if you've ever looked into the woods, it's not scary. It's just an energy. So we can clear things that maybe have come to you while you were healing with the light. So we'll do those 3 healings before we close. And you guys, please, I hope I post this in time for you guys. It's a 6-month period after the eclipse, so you're gonna feel the emotions of this happening very, very, very quickly. So let's because it's 6 months. So everyone, just like take a deep breath and let it out. Close your eyes and put all of your love in your heart, and shoot that energy down past your hips to your knees, to your feet, down to the center of the core of the earth. And just breathe and just let that sit for a minute. Feel the vibration. And then pull that energy all the way back up through your feet, up your shins, to your knees, to your hips, to your thighs, all the way to the base of your spine. Pull it up through your, just feel that ball of light just turning on each energy space as we go up. The energy center of the root of your core, the energy center of your sex space, your creative energy through your stomach, turn on that willpower energy, turn on up through your chest where you can just breathe and love, all the way up to the middle of your forehead where you use intuition. Turn that light on. Turn the light on over a ball over your head, which is your prophetic space, your connection to everything that is, and shoot the ball up over your head past layers and 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 layers of light, past the fifth dimension, past this pink space, jelly-like substance where the law of compassion, the law of truth is, the law of the universe, all the way up to an effervescent white light. This is the seventh plane. And from here, just say yes after I've completed this, if you would like this healing. We're going to release soul fragments. So a soul fragment is a piece of a life force energy that's been lost in an intense emotional counter. Sometimes it's fighting, sometimes it's a divorce, sometimes, it could be sexual energy, anything like that, any sort of this is an individual life person. It's an individual life force. It's a fragment of somebody's life force, which is more than just something somebody says. It's a piece of it's a fragment of their soul. So the energy can be negative or positive, but for either way, if you accept this, we'll just release it. In a lot of times you can find this at the death of a loved one, or when someone is ill, or you have given something willingly or unwillingly to someone else, and then it's just as an instinct to want to heal them, or even rape or abuse. So this is sometimes why you keep thinking of someone for so many years after a situation has happened, and you feel like you can't make a break from the memories. So there's nothing wrong with thinking about them, but you just want to make sure that you're not giving your power to another person. So what we're going to do is we're just going to release that. Close your eyes and shoot that ball all the way back up to the center of the earth. And just breathe. Okay, and so if you would like this, just say yes. And then insert your name here, okay? So creator of all that is commanded that all soul fragments from all generations, time, eternity, and between from, say your name, this person, be released and cleansed and returned back to, and say the name of the person, whoever you want to call your soul back from. It's commanded that all soul fragments belonging to, say your name, be released, cleansed, and returned to them. Thank you so much, God. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. So, wow, it's like a vortex. That was beautiful. Great. So what we're going to do is also do an energetic divorce from past relationships. So what is this? Marinike, I wasn't married to anyone. Don't worry, you don't have to necessarily be married to anyone. This is actually your energy. So when you feel like you have really melded energies with someone, it could even be someone that you've had an unconscious level, you can just feel like you're tied to someone, and you can take care of them energetically. So sometimes these can also be places. Energetically, you can be married to a country or a city, or where you feel like maybe you have to take care of them, where you feel like maybe you're very attached to them, that kind of thing. So for this, we're just going to close our eyes again, and just imagine that ball of light back up to the seventh plane. This is where unconditional love happens and rapid healing occurs. So, creative all that is, it is commanded that this person, you can say your name, be released from the commitment of this marriage in the highest and best way. Thank you so much. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Wow, that's great. I did want to definitely talk to you all about just clearing any sort of oaths, vows, curses, any sort of psychic attacks. So, what are psychic attacks? Renegade, what is that? Sounds scary. It's not. So, anytime you think about someone in a negative way, or you feel like for whatever reason this energy just came to you and you're like, why am I still feeling like angry? Okay, for example, I have an aunt who I'm like actually very close to. When she sends me negative thoughts, I can feel it. I feel like sad, and I feel that they're very quite angry. And it's like it's normal. Not everybody has loving thoughts towards each other. That's normal. But there were two times in particular, like I could feel it. People, especially in your family or friends, they don't know that when they send you negative thoughts, it begins to hurt and affect some of your bodies on the outside. And so, this is a very nice, great way to get rid of that. So just close your eyes again, and if you'd like this, say yes. This means you're consenting to our session here. Okay. Creative all that is commanded that all psychic attacks automatically be sent to God's light. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. It is done. It is done. Thank you so much. So, you can always pray and ask God to remove the attack when you feel it. I felt that as well, like, even in the vicinity of people I live with, because we're so close. Like, I love them so much. And when they send me positive and negative thoughts, I can feel it. So it's always okay to just release that. And well, let's see if we have time. I'm already at 22:48. It's just so, I really have loved Theta so much. And if you guys want to get a copy, you don't necessarily have to go and get a certification yourself, but I recommend this one. This is actually the basic DNA book. And then there's an advanced DNA book as well. This one, I recommend it. And there are 7 planes of existence, which is actually on my bookshelf. There's so many different things, but yeah, if you can find a place to go and get certified, you can do this. It's really worth it if you can, and just like knowing that triggers and stuff like this are very intentional. So let's clear anything that's not coming from you, or you as a being from of God's light. Okay, so put your feet on the ground. Again, shoot that ball above your head. And if you like this healing, say yes. Okay, Creator of all that is, commanded that all wayward spirits be sent to God's light. Thank you so much. And sometimes you may, if you're seeing some of these and they look like all kinds of things, it may not just be Python spirits or Leviathan spirits. It could be all kinds of things that don't even look human. You can just keep chasing it to go to the light. Just go. Some look like spiders. It can be different things. Like I said, don't be afraid. Just know that you have the power to remove these things and just send it to the light. Okay, you all, it's already A couple hours left. I still have some more work to do, but I am so eternally grateful, lovers and friends. This is it. Like, remembering to keep those 7 things first. Know what you're aiming for. To be prepared. Don't let your past affect you. Put on a new attitude. Change your garments. Go to the place where you are being asked to go. That may feel kind of scary. It may be a physical place, and it might be spiritually in your mind, but usually it's going to be externally. And then shut your mouth. Just be quiet and do not speak until it's that time when somebody comes to you. In the Book of Ruth, the 7 one is don't shine unless it's your time. If the spotlight's on you, just chill. So in the Book of Ruth, this was actually talking about how Ruth wanted a husband. She didn't know where to go. And so Naomi teaches Ruth how to approach this king. And so you have to get ready, She had to know what she wanted. She had to wash her face, not look like she was coming from a different town. She had to put on a good attitude, some new clothes, and she had to go to the place. She didn't know where she was going or what's going on, and she didn't speak until she was spoken to. She wasn't like, oh my God, she was just chill, just quiet. And when the light was not on her, when nobody was not speaking to her, then it was important that she just shut her mouth. She wasn't in this, she was not in the spotlight until she was spoken to, and then it's your time to shine. So just keep pushing, you guys. This is 6 months, and it's going to be freaking amazing. So believe in yourselves. I know you can do it. I know you can do it. It's just kind of like hermiting. And I keep hearing this pregnancy, this push. This is the final push. So maybe I'll do a video about that later when it's not nighttime. Yeah. Okay. Well, as long as it's been placed on my heart to keep sending you guys messages, I'm absolutely going to do that. Yeah. Happy 2020.